Hi, this is Daniel Hunsky, and I help large BMC and Helix shops fix a hidden problem in their CMDBs. Most environments I audit are quietly generating about 200 duplicate CIs a day from just discovery, and which this quickly snowballs into thousands of duplicates, broken relationships, and incident tickets which are then logged against wrong assets, etc. So in about 2 or 4 weeks, I deduplicate and normalize all the data, and using the ETL jobs, which is HTML integrator and Kettle, using custom SQL. But in this case, actually, I created my own CMDB with discovery that you can run on your system. So I'm gonna show you exactly how to use this. So here in this case, I'm going to create a new account. So new account, and I'm gonna register a. Actually, I'm gonna log out myself here. I'm gonna register a new account. We're gonna start a new company, and we're gonna put in details. So I'm gonna pause this. Just so here I filled it out. Any new company, you can skip the dunce number because we don't really need it. My full name in this case is going to be Bob Business, and my username is B Business, and my email is bob@gmail.com. That's just there so I can reset it. So now I'm going to create this new company account. I'm going to save this as my update. And now I have no configuration items and no relationships. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to use this tool over here to create CIs for me from my system. So here, this is a script that you can run. So here it's called mac.scan.py, which is Python, or you can run Windows scan PS1. So I already have the mac.scan.py. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna actually click this, and it looks like this, right? So it will just run this Python script, and what I need to do is it will create this mac CIs rel CSV and mac underscore CIs the CSV. So when I run this from the command line, and this is literally as exactly as this command shows to run it. So we're gonna do this. Um, Copy and run that. So I'm gonna back up over this. But the Mac CSV file is already there, so it's already here. So we're just gonna paste this command right here, and it will create um, the CIs for me. Okay, so here I've done this. Now if I look at list CIs, okay, I'm actually gonna hide the password here so you can just log in. All right, here it is. So we've added the CIs and relationships. So we have 12. So now if I actually refresh this, I'm gonna see these 11 CIs listed right here, including my Macintosh hard drive, which shows the serial number here. Right, so we have a serial number as well, and then we picked it up with the Python command. So once this is loaded, we can actually go to the graph view, and here we're gonna see the relationship model. And the next thing I need to do actually is just to load the relationships. Okay, so I had one mistake in the command line. I had to add dash dash relationship, which I didn't have in the previous command. So now this is the actual command: upload resume business rel dash password, and then followed by a password, which I'm not showing on the screen here. But here you can see that the relationships were added, and a list of CIs is also listed here. So now in a graph view, you will see these related. Okay, so what I can actually do now is I can move this Macintosh over here, and you can see it's showing the serial number here on the bottom. So if I select this, it will show this token ID, the company name, and the serial number, assuming that I actually have the proper machine. So this one is the computer. This is the actual workstation class, company, and the computer type workstation, and it shows the token ID that it's associated with, the ID itself. There's no cost, so actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the cost of here. It cost me one time $600 for that machine. And you can also see that there's a serial number displayed over here. So it picked up all this information from that Python code. So now when we go back into the graph view and I select the central machine that's running everything, I have the $600 cost. I don't have anything else associated with the cost. So for example, if I am actually let's add a user of the Mac Mini. So let's do that here. Add a CI, and let's add this. All right, this is a Bob director. I think we're just gonna call him that. He's a person, and he's getting paid, let's say $100 an hour. Okay, and back to the list. Actually, I don't think I added it, so let me do that one more time. Add CI. Name, it's gonna be Bob. Director, he's a person, $100. And this is hourly, runs the company as owner. Okay. So now when we add this, we'll have the CI here. And I want to add that relationship actually as a Bob director to the, let's see, he runs on this machine. So it's going to be Mac Mini workstation. Add that relationship, and now he is showing it over here as the ultimate ruler of the company because he now owns the Mac Mini. So the Mac Mini relationship shows that it's owned by Bob. It could be a developer, it could be really anybody in the company. And we also want to add some services. So what we actually don't have here is a service. So we're going to say we're going to add a new CI, and my business service offering, which is a business service, and it's going to cost, let's say, well, $200 a month, for example, and it's going to be monthly cost. Main business of the company. Okay. And I'm going to add it here, and now I need to add a relationship, and again that's going to be from Bob director to that particular service. He owns the service, so business service offering, and add that relationship. So now in a graph view, we actually can see that um, Bob Director runs on this machine, Mac Mini, and he owns the service. So again, on the bottom here, we actually have a description of what that is. The business service offering, right, is a max main business of the company. It's $200 a month and it has a token ID. So now with all this in place, we can then run the graph view, actually the cost dashboard. So now it tells me that these particular CIs, which are associated with some cost, so it only shows those that has a cost associated. So since my Mac Mini was $600, Bob is making $600 an hour, and my service is costing me $200 a month. I now have $16,000 expense per month just to run the company. And the reason is that the most expensive guy is the Bob Director. And we can also download the CSV file here. So we can look in this file here. And it shows that the company is any new company, there's a workstation, etc., etc. Okay, so we can get a CSV printout of this report. Well, additionally, we can create a new incident. So we can say, let's create a new incident and say we want to check to make sure that Bob owns it. Okay. So we're gonna make it a high critical priority. It's assigned to actually Bob Director himself. And please check the company setting to show Bob as owner. Okay. So we're gonna say we're gonna create, and it's gonna be related to the business service offering and kind of to the Mac Mini because we really want all of that in there. So now we have this associated with it. Now we can say we can edit every single one of these, but for now we're just gonna do in progress and save that. And now I'm gonna go to the actual company view over here, which is only visible to the managers and owners, by the way. And here he is. So Bob is listed right here. We can add a company logo, which I'm gonna just add the portfolio JPEG here. Okay, it's too big. Let's pick something smaller. Okay, let's do be just small. Assign that. Upload logo. And now we have this logo associated with the company. So when I actually go back to my graph view here, it will show that any new company with that logo right here. And every time I choose any of these options, it will keep showing that company, relationship, cost dashboard, and the incidents. So this incident right here, since I've actually done this, company view here shows that Bob is the owner indeed, but I want to add like a new team member. So I'm going to add like some new user. I'm going to say uh, Mike Smith. And actually, that's the full name. So we're going to do just Mike Smith, and full name is Mike Smith. His email is Mike at someemail.com. And he is a manager. Okay, so we're gonna say he makes $65 an hour. That's a hourly pay, and We want to add like a new password here, so we're just gonna add a new password. I'm not sure if it will take Mike Smith. I think it's looking for a little bit more complexity, but here we go. Create user, okay, and we can save that user here. And we can add a relationship to him, so he's gonna be owner of um, let's give him, I don't know, I'm just gonna give him Mac OS. Okay, he owns the Mac OS. Add relationship. So again, if I go into the graph view, we'll show Mike Smith right here that owns the Mac OS. Now this can be anything you want, really. I just picked it because it was easy. And we're gonna go back to the company view, and then we can see here that Mike Smith actually is listed here as a manager. So we can change it to actually to be the owner. If he's the owner, he'll have more access to this interface. But if he's an employee, he's not going to be able to actually see any of that stuff. So if we make him an employee and log in with his password here, so um, we're going to save this as an employee. And that's all. So we're good to go. So Bob is the owner. So we can actually go back to the incident view here and say, okay, this is now resolved and closed. Okay, and it was assigned to Bob director. So we're gonna save the change, and it's gonna show the activity somewhere in the CI list. Okay, so incidents. We have this is closed now, and there's a small note here. Actually, there's no note because I didn't add anything, but I'm just gonna say this is done. Add a note, and we're good to go. Okay. Go back to incidents. Gonna view that, and as we can see, this is done. Added on May 21st. And we are now down. So next thing I want to do is actually go to payroll. So here, Bob, he makes $100 an hour. So what we need to do is we need to add a social security number. So I'm gonna say 112 dash 11 dash 1112. Okay, and his filing status is married. He lives in Texas, and in Texas the federal withdrawal is 8%, and there is no state tax. He has a AFLAC. Okay, and we're gonna add the website for AFLAC over here, and we're also gonna say he's paying $250 a month for his insurance, and we're gonna save this. So what I can do now, actually, I can print out the W2 for Bob. Okay, so I'm gonna run the payroll, and only one person has a social security number in the system. So we're gonna say run payroll and generate W2. So here we go. And he actually didn't really make any money, so he's only paying $620 in social wages. So because it is only 2026, a couple months, and here is the print PDF, so we can actually look at this. Okay, it looks like I actually made a mistake right here. I put it in per month, so but he makes this per hour. So we're gonna save this and run the payroll again, and now it's gonna show him as making $17,000 in 3 months because today is March 21st. So since the beginning of the year, he made $17,000 and he paid $2,300 and 23.90 and 50 cents. So we're gonna run this payroll here, and now we can see that the W2 over here actually shows Bob with these numbers. So we can save this, we can print that out to a PDF file. Now we have this, that we can file this with the IRS. And in here, the employee SSN is actually X'd out. So if you wanted to actually file, you would have to file in with the correct SSN. But in this case, we're just blacking it out, so it's not visible. So cancel this. Again, back to all employees. And again, the reason I said the second person didn't show up because he has not been configured. Okay, so we're gonna go back to payroll setup. We're gonna add a wage of $65 for this person, and he's making this per hour. And again, we're gonna give him like 7 dash. Okay, here we go. So pay frequency is per. We're gonna do bi-weekly. He's getting paid bi-weekly. He's married, filing separately, and federal allowance in Texas is 8%. So we're gonna set it to 8%, Texas. Zero for state, and healthy. Again, we got $200, and that's let's say Blue Cross. Okay, and health premium deduction. So, oh, yeah, that's $200. And this is Blue Cross. Blue Shield. Paying monthly, and we're gonna save this. So what that means that now I can actually run payroll for everybody. So I'm gonna run payroll for 2 employees, and here is Mike Smith, who only makes $4,000. Is that right? That seems a little bit low, so it should be a little bit more. Let me go back on this. Company view. Mike Smith. So since I actually already created Mike as a CI, I have to go back to here and fix his income. So here he is, Mike Smith. I'm gonna edit. He makes this hourly, and that's it. Okay. So let's see, 65 an hour times 40. That should be more than $4,000. Let's go back to payroll. Mike Smith. Configured 65,100 per hour. Oh, pay frequency monthly. Okay, that's why. So he's getting paid monthly, and that means that every month he's gonna be billed more taxes. So here we got better result, and that means that if I run this to employee payrolls, now I have the most recent, and I'm actually showing for both. So I'm gonna pick this one here. So he's making $16,000 a month. Is that right? Okay, sorry for skipping the Mike Smith W2 actually shows here that he made $27,000 in the 3 months of this year, because this is actually judged by this year right here, 2026. So since January 1st, he's made this much money, and he had to pay $3,400 in federal taxes and $1,700 in Social Security, and $400 for Medicare, and his health insurance is $492. So let me go back to the original page, back to all employees. Right, we can see right here, this guy here, back to payroll. He's making $200 per week, per every 2 weeks, and estimated net is $8,798 every month. Okay, so monthly pay is this, but then we actually, when you run the W2, that's for the whole month. Okay, so we have these numbers here listed. Every time I run this payroll setup, it will create a new report. So if I just run payroll again for 2 employees, it'll actually now show the same thing. And 2 W2's are for each Mike Smith and Bob Business, the owner and the employee. So now we can look at the W2 of the owner versus the employee, and we can also print the PDF file. So now I have that. Now the thing is, I have a subscription here. So if you wanted to subscribe to the service, it's actually free. If you have like one employee, right? And you can pay with your credit card or Zcash, which is a cryptocurrency. I like to use that currency because it's anonymous, so you can actually see different plans here. So you can calculate if you want more employees. So if you go like 2 employees, 3 employees, 4 employees, etc. 10 employees will run you $450 with 10% volume discount. And you can also go from here to look at the health insurance, right? You can and go back to whatever you were working on before. So here, that's payroll, subscription, company view, again, owner and the employees. And then here on my homepage, I show a summary of how many CIs are in a graph view and how many relationships there are. So, okay, I'm gonna go to relationships here. There's seems to be like a longer number, but I can actually select all these and delete them and recreate them using that script, right? So we actually have the list here of Mac Mini runs on Mac OS. So these relationships are created by Python script. And finally, again, the cost dashboard, which tells me that I'm burning $27,000 every month just to run the business with these two guys on my payroll. And that pretty much sums up the CMDB. So on the home page here, we there is a accommodated model link that I'm going to add right here that will show just what is available. And so that's it. This is it. Again, you can actually add your CIs manually if you want. So you can add a type of any kind over here. So if you have a SaaS service, you can say SaaS offering that I'm gonna charge $50 a month for, and the cost is gonna be monthly, maybe yearly. You want to probably get better description than this, but here we go. So what we'll do here is we'll generate the token and also say, okay, we want to relate it to a business service, which again, actually, yeah, back to CI list here. And add relationship. We're gonna do the SAS. Um, we can actually do a custom type, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna say the SAS runs on, provide all runs on right here, the Mac OS. So of course, if you have other service, you just add that in there. So now we have add relationship. Go back to the graph view, and again we can see the overall design here of my thing. See for Mike Smith that actually is not associated with anything, so we want to do that. Let's say Mike Smith is, looks like we have a duplicate actually, so we're gonna do deduplications is another feature here to deduplicate, and we have a Mike Smith here twice. So we're gonna remove the duplicate. We're gonna do the secondary duplicate. Okay. Now we have only unique values. So we're gonna do Mike Smith again, and he actually manages something. Right? So we're gonna give him the business service or the SaaS, whatever SaaS offering. Add a relationship, and here we go. So we go back to graph view. Here's Mike somewhere. Here's the Ethernet. Here's the Macintosh, and here's again the Mac Mini, which actually has the serial number that was all picked up by the scan earlier. And here we go. So we have this. And the serial number doesn't show here, but if you do edit, it shows it right here. So good to go. If I wanted to run an incident on that particular thing, so we're gonna say new incident, and we're gonna pick this Mac Mini. Okay, I think I'm good. So anyway, you have a pretty good idea how this works. So if you're interested, subscribe. I'm actually, this subscription, like I said, is free. Right? So you do your first thing. As an owner, you have yourself and your employee is free. So if you then wanted to add additional plans like upgrading your users to be able to be owners and managers, then you want to increase this number right here and add 5 employees, $250 a month. You get a discount when you get to, I think, 10, yeah, 10%. And I think that's a pretty good deal. So here, if you want to pay with Zcash, pay with Zcash. There's your address. And go back. If you want to pay with a card, you put a card in, check out Stripe, and that will take care of that. So thank you for watching. Hopefully this wasn't too boring, but this should help you run your business and be actually in control of what's happening within your business.